IHM students and the benefits of reading. Welcome to Prof Neel. This is not just restricted to IHM students, but for all the students, and for anybody and everybody. As an IHM student, I realized how much I benefited from not just reading on the subject, but also cricket literature, phantom comics, etc. Let's find out a couple of samples. Peanuts, the cartoon strips by Charles Schulz, featuring Charlie Brown and his pet dog, Snoopy, the latter donning many hats, including those of that of a World War II ace fighter pilot, philosopher, author, a journalist, tapping out on his typewriter, one of the latest ones, with a sigh. After all the dust had settled down, it took a porn star to save America, alluding to Donald Trump. One strip captured what was happening in America. Cricket and porridge. When I read about one of the finest cricket test matches in history, the Tangiwai test match, also referred to as the Boxing Day test match, where a defiant New Zealand, emotionally and physically mauled, yet stood up as a man to lose that test to South Africa, but winning the hearts of all those present there. Sutcliffe, the great batsman, the New Zealand batsman, chose to bat despite being fatally hit by a bouncer. He's quoted, "I went out to bat fortified by a product of Scotland, but it certainly was not porridge. I learnt porridge originated in Scotland." A Jason Bourne fiction, I learned a spritzer is made with a wine of your choice, with any soda or any fuzzy carbonated water. Phantom comics was the finest propaganda that the white man had used to brainwash the rest of the world. How a white man washed ashore after a ship attacked by pirates, rescued and revived by the local blacks inhabitants, metamorphosizes as Phantom, the legend, the ghost who walks, who keeps the jungle tribes in order and ensures there is complete order. He rules everything. And all other stories to divert the truth that the white man had plundered the continent of Africa, enslaved the blacks for their use as cheap labor for his benefit, and then to term Africa as the black continent. I also, then being very young, I did not know much about the flights. Where we had only a couple of flights in a day. Then we didn't know much about airlines and etc. I learned you can't take a pet on a plane, a dog, because he's stopped by the air hostess who says that, "Sorry sir, you can't take your dog. Dogs are not allowed on the plane." And then you learn confidence. You learn confidence when he says, "Sorry, he's not a dog, he's a wolf." So that little thing was there, learning. Then to laugh in 1985 on Irish singer Bob Goodall's brainwave of using concerts to raise funds for Africa, termed as Live Aid for Ethiopia, making a mockery of what the kind Lord giveth, he taketh. Did he do that as an atonement for his ancestors looting those people, to give them a pittance of what they had looted? Or was he merely seeking publicity? But yes, it generated good music. Other things I don't know. The white man, I don't know. The British were fair only in skin, honoring Robert Clive of Plassey, the battle flame. He won the Battle of Plassey for the British to take over India. They made a great deal of honoring him as Clive of India, as if he had done a great deal for India. The looter that he was, he had looted India totally, all the resources possible to take it back home. His only contribution to India was that, looting. How could he be Clive of India? And Sir Winston Churchill, my favorite example, whom many Indians admired for him being a great wartime prime minister or orator. The reality was single-handedly responsible for the Great Famine in Bengal during World War II, when not a grain of food was spared for the locals. It was all taken away for the brave British soldiers fighting for the fighting in the World War II, while millions died for want of food. India was the first country to send a cricket team to play in South Africa in 1991, as the Congress government and the African National Congress had close affiliations. After the international community had revoked the Glen Eagles Agreement of 1991, which banned South Africa from participating in international sporting competitions. That's why they did not play in the 1975 and 79 Prudential World Cup campaigns, which the West Indies stamped their authority, dominated to win, but the South African team would have been more than a handful for them. But they came back to international sports in 1992 when they participated in the World Cup in Down Under in Australia. But then apartheid regime was removed in 1991 and coloured players could play for Africa. The Glen Eagles Agreement coming to being after 1960, a tour of South Africa by England, a controversial tour. The controversy being the Dolly affair, Oliveira affair. Now, you have to read to find out what is the Dolly Vieira affair. You can't expect Prof Neel to give you all the answers, otherwise you shall never get the pleasure of reading. You can never get the delight of reading for the pleasure of reading. Embrace the twist to enjoy the turn.